Tommy with Elevation Every Weekend here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to discuss why your fat bike needs a dropper seat post. Dropper seat posts have been around for many years now. Most people associate them with mountain bikes, and they've been essential for getting your weight low and back on a bike, especially when doing technical trails or descending. And this also really improves rider control when doing fast, flowy trails as well. Dropper seat posts have really gone mainstream in recent years. You're seeing them on more and more lower priced bikes, and you're even starting to see them on gravel bikes. As for what a dropper seat post is, if you're not aware, essentially it does what it sounds like. It lets you push a lever on your handlebar, and with just a little input from your body, it lets you drop the seat all the way down to the top tube. And with the seat out of the way, it lets you get your body positioning low and back over the rear wheel, which lowers your center of gravity. And especially when you're descending or doing any kind of jump or drop, it keeps you from going over the bars as well because your weight is back over the rear tire. And when you are ready for your seat to be back in its regular position, hitting the same lever activates a pressurized chamber within the seat tube, and it quickly raises the seat back to where you need it. As for a fat bike, having a dropper can have all the same benefits as a mountain bike, especially if you're riding your fat bike in the summer or non-snow conditions on single track trail and technical trail, which is something I always do. And fortunately, there's actually some manufacturers out there that are shipping their fat bikes with a dropper seat post as standard equipment, which is definitely a good thing. My Shirley ice cream truck did not come with a dropper seat post. So about 18 months ago, I installed a PNW Rainier dropper seat post with their loam lever, and all that time it has performed really well, and it's been an essential tool for riding better and safer. But probably my favorite aspect for having it on the fat bike is not for summer trail use or big mountain use. It's actually using it in the snow, which is probably where I use it most. When fat biking in the snow, you will invariably encounter a rough section where you will lose momentum and have to stop. Usually this occurs when trail conditions are not ideal, or if you're climbing a section of snowy trail. And after a significant snowfall or in backcountry conditions, often just off the main line, which can be extremely narrow at times, the snow will actually be quite deep. So if you get off the line, this can not only immediately stop your progress on the bike, but when you step off to catch yourself, you'll usually sink even further in. This can make getting started again really challenging, as that transition from pushing off in the snow, getting your pedals going, and also getting yourself up to full seat height can be extremely difficult to pull off. And this transition is really important because getting your weight over your rear tire for traction almost immediately is important. And if you don't do it, you will often spin out or not have enough momentum to get going, and you'll end up right where you started. So this is a great example where a dropper can be really essential. It lets you manually put the seat in a very low position, which makes mounting the bike much easier. But most importantly, it'll let you actually sit on the saddle, on the trail, on the line, even though your feet are off the pedals and maybe several inches deep in snow. This also lets you set your pedals for a good starting position, get your foot on it, and get that first essential pedal stroke in with your weight over the rear wheel. And once you get one or two pedal strokes in and get that forward momentum going, you can usually raise your seat back to where you want it and continue riding along the trail. So adding a dropper to my ice cream truck was one of the best quality of ride improvements I've made to the bike. Yes, it does add some weight, but it more than makes up for it in the ability to ride better, ride safer, and in snowy conditions, it's just much more enjoyable. As for this PNW seat post, it has had no issues in the 18 months or so that I've had it on the ice cream truck. I've activated it many hundreds, if not thousands of times during that 18-month period, and it has never failed me or given me any issues. Furthermore, and probably the biggest test, is it has performed flawlessly in extremely cold conditions, which is not something that's always a strong suit for a dropper seat post. And it's actually been a fairly budget-friendly option, as there are certainly others out there that are 2 or even 3 times the cost, and some of those don't even have the greatest reputation for long-term use. I have had some manufacturer branded options on my mountain bikes in the past, and while it was nice to have those as standard equipment, over time those typically don't perform the greatest, and that's been my experience as well with them sticking and not being as responsive as I'd like. So in conclusion, the PNW Rainier has been a flawless option at a reasonable price, and I do highly recommend it. So if you have any questions about using a dropper, any experience with posts that people should avoid, or any experience with posts you've had great success with, drop those down in the comments below. If you found this video helpful in any way, definitely drop a like down below. And if you want to continue to follow along for all of my fat, adventure, and mountain bike content, definitely subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. It's free, and it tells YouTube this is the kind of content you want to continue to see. Lots more on the agenda as we move from late winter into spring, so definitely stay tuned. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.